Everyone, ShawnQ here, and in this video I'm going to be answering your questions that have come in that I didn't have enough time last week to answer. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Hey, ShawnQ here, your high-ticket sales coach, and I have several questions that have come in that I'm going to be answering about high-ticket sales, about offer building, about finding clients. Now, if you have a question, go ahead and put hashtag question below, and I'll make sure to answer those questions for you. Now, what's really incredible is this is kind of a bonus. So, again, if you have any question about anything, I want to be able to answer them for you. We're going to be going live each day to answer your questions and make sure that you have everything you need in order to move forward. Now, if you're live, go to put hashtag team live. If you're on the rerun, go to put hashtag rerun. And I just want to say thank you so much again for spending time with us. So let's go ahead and dive into the questions. I have the first question here, which is, ShawnQ, how do you let go of low-paying clients to make room for high-paying clients? Let me know in the comments below. Have you ever experienced, like, or maybe this is you have low-paying clients and you are at your ends wit, because here's the thing that happens with a lot of coaches, service providers, especially if you're the one doing a lot of fulfillment, is you're the one that's required to show up in order to get the job done, which means if you don't get the job done, your business doesn't make money, your clients aren't happy, you don't get testimonials, you miss deadlines. And so for some of you, you're like, I really want to scale my business. Maybe that's you. I really want to scale. But you know that if you landed 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more clients this month, it would be just completely overwhelming. Maybe for you, it's because you're the one, again, involved in the business, or maybe for you, it's you just don't have any system set up to scale. And you're like, I don't even think I could handle 10 clients right now. And for a lot of you, you're the one doing the business, so it would actually kill your business for you to land 10 more clients, which means landing high-paying clients means you work with less people, make more money. And what happens is you don't have to kill yourself working with 10 clients in order to hit your goal. You can work with 1 or 2 clients, hit your financial goals, and then be able to scale even further. And so how do you make room for high-paying clients? Well, here's the thing. Number one, if you have low-paying clients right now, finish the work you're doing with them. Get it done, and that way you can honor the work that you have already contracted with them. Especially if you have signed contracts, finish that work. When you're done with that work, and if there's more work to go, what you can do is you can have a conversation with them and simply say, hey, I'd love to have a conversation with you. Hey, Rivers, so good to see you. I'd love to have a conversation with you about some of the changes we're making to our business that is going to make us more capable of serving you. And that's the kind of conversation you have. Now, if you're on a retainer with someone and you want to raise your prices and you want to still keep that client, best thing to do is this. Get into a conversation with them. Let them know, hey, we're going to do a quick, we're going to have a conversation about how things have been going so far. We're going to be having a conversation. Hey, Onyanyi, hey, Rivers, we're going to have a conversation about what, how we would love to continue serving you and what that looks like. So set up that meeting, make it like 45 minutes or an hour, and then in that conversation, here's how you want to start. You want to be able to say, hey, so let's go ahead and do a recap of the work that we've done so far. And then you recap all of the victories that they have experienced because of working with you, all of the success that they have experienced after working with you. Oh, hey, this is Grogu. This is Baby Yoda. I forgot to say that. So he's here to give us some marketing wisdom and sales advice. His sage sales wisdom. So you want to go into that conversation. Okay, let's recap. Let's look at everything that we have done that has gotten you results. Then say, what does the next 3 months look like if we were able to really go all in with you? And they're going to present some, results, some goals, all these good things. And then you're going to say, awesome. Now, some of the changes that we're making in our company is we're going to increase our fee, but because you've already been a client, we will slowly increase that fee for you from where it's at now to where we want to be over the span of 3 to 6 months. And that's where you're able to honor the existing client while growing the price with that existing client. So that's the first thing that I would recommend. And that is what I would say, like, you want to make sure that you're able to honor the existing contracts. Another thing you can do is simply say, hey, my price is this, that, like, my price has doubled since we've last negotiated our price. Let's go ahead and have a conversation. You have that conversation. If they're not a good fit and you don't want to work with them anymore, hey, that's perfect. So that's one thing that I would encourage you to do, is just have the conversation with the client, and then you're going to create space for those higher paying clients. So let me know if that was helpful in the comments below. Rivers says, yay, can't wait until you channel him. I love it. Okay, if you're live, go to put hashtag team live. If you're on the rerun, go ahead and put hashtag team rerun in the comments below. Second question. Question number 2. If you already have a dream client, how do you land another one? Okay, here's where I want to talk about success language and buyer language versus market research language. For those of you who did your interviews last week, let me know. Hey, Suzanne, let me know, how many interviews did you do last week? And maybe you're doing interviews still this week. How many interviews are you doing this week? The best people to interview, the greatest people to interview, existing clients or past clients. And the reason why is they've already invested money, and they're going to give you language that will then attract other people who are ready to invest money. Market research with buyers and market research with just anybody, completely different language you're going to get, and a lot better data. Hey, Amanda, so good to see you. Everybody say, woo woo. Amanda joined Clients with Purpose, and so I'm going to be spending an entire year with her. Congratulations, Amanda. So you want to interview your clients. So if you already have a client, you already have clients you love working with, interview them. Here's a couple of questions you want to ask your existing buyers. Number 1, what led you to say heck yes to me? Or what led you to say yes? What led you to sign up? What was the primary driver that led you to sign up? Amanda can attest to this. As soon as she made her commitment and she made her investment, I sent her a voice memo and I said, hey, Amanda, what led you to the heck yes? We have that automated in our system because I want to get the language from our buyers so then I can then use that language in the rest of our stuff. Something else you want to ask, a couple other questions you want to ask as you're working with your existing clients is, what surprised you most? If you can, put this in the comments as a note. What surprised you most about working with us? Or what surprised you most about working with me? What surprised you most about working with me? And that's going to show you some of the characteristics that really pop up. A couple of people that I've interviewed about our own clients who have said, where I've asked that question, they've said, you know what really surprised me was how easy it was. Like, you just make it feel so simple and so easy. Everyone else makes it so complicated, and you just you break it down so simply. So guess what? That language about making it so simple and so easy was not something that I realized was an innate strength of mine. But now I can really leverage it and really hone in on it. So the first question is, what led you to the buy? Second question, what surprised you most? Third question is, what do you think we could have done together that would have made the experience even better? That is one of the best questions. We actually asked that question about 3 months into our program, is how can we do better for you? Why? Because the most important thing in the business, your clients. That is the most important part of a business, your clients. If you don't have clients, you don't got money coming in. If you got money coming in, you don't got a business. So we want to make sure we're taking care of our clients, and we're asking them, what can we do to make it even better? Now, if you have a program, you have a 10-month program, or a 12-month program, 10-week program, six-week program, whatever it is, if you're not constantly making it better every single time you launch it, every single time you release it, then you're missing out on an opportunity. I read this book called, I don't remember what the book is. Accelerated Profit, I think is what it's called. And in it audits a business that went from 0 to 100 million. And one of the biggest things they discovered was you don't need a better program than everyone else. You need a program that's 10 times better in order for people to see and feel the difference. If yours better than the next person, then awesome. But if it's not 10 times better, then people aren't even going to know that it's better. So you want to consistently, incrementally improve your program. That's why with Clients with Purpose, we're always adding new stuff. We're always asking our clients, what can we do to make this better? Because we want to improve it. And guess what? We have a whole list. Clients with a Purpose last year, Clients with Purpose this year does not look the same. Clients with Purpose 3 years ago and today does not look the same. Clients with Purpose 3 years from now and today won't look the same. Why? Because we're always improving it, because we're constantly getting that feedback. So those are some of the questions you want to ask your existing clients. You want to gather that data, and you want to be able to understand what their experience is like. The last question I want you to write, if you can put this in the comments below, the greatest question you can ask. Oh, I love that, Amanda. You say, guess what? I used your statement. If you could blank and I could help you blank, would you want to know what that looks like? I love it, Amanda. Thank you. The fourth question is, how did you find me? That's a great question. Is how did you find me? What was your experience like? Like, what did you see first? What did you see second? If you can understand the customer journey and the things they consumed, then that's going to be able to give you the enough data to tap into it. So those are a couple of questions you want to go ask your existing clients, your past clients. That will help you get more clients like the ones you already have. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments below. Rivers asked a question. Could you please explain the surprise question again? All you're asking your client is what surprised you most about working together? What surprised you most about our work together? People have told me a wide variety of answers. Some of them is like, Shawn, what surprised me the most is how easy it was and how simple you made it for me. A couple of people said, you know what surprised me the most is how lively you are and hopeful and optimistic and positive. Like every single time I have a conversation with you, it's like a breath of fresh air and I just feel so good. So you want to be able to gather that data so you can tap more into it. And it allows you really to stand in that strength that you may not even realize you have. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know, Rivers, in the comments below. Okay. So here's another question. Okay, awesome, Rivers. I feel like I attract a lot of broke clients that want and need my program, but allow money to hold them back. How do I attract higher paying clients who are ready to go? So there's a couple of different things that I'm reading in this question. Number one is I attract a lot of broke clients, but then part of the question is they want to need my program, but they allow money to hold them back. And I'm assuming that money to hold them back could mean a couple of different things. One, they just don't have the money. Or two, they do have the money, but they're afraid of what the commitment looks like. And I'll cover both of those in this question. So, and then how do I attract higher paying clients who are ready to go? So something that you want to be able to encourage your clients or your potential clients is you want to use now language. There's nothing like the power of now. You could always wait till later. You could always wait till tomorrow. You could always wait till next month and the month before and the month. But guess what you don't get back? You never get back time. So you want to use now language because now is the perfect moment for people to take action. So that's the first thing, is you want to make sure you're using the right success language. Another thing is if you're using struggle language, and we talk about this in the inner circle, if you're using struggle language where you're saying, are you struggling with, or do you struggle to ... Guess what? Nobody wants to admit that. Nobody wants to admit they're struggling, especially on social media where you see the highlight reel of everybody's life. You only see the best parts of them. So if you're using struggle language, guess what's going to happen? You're going to repel people who are like, I don't struggle. And then number two, you're going to attract people who the only thing they know is struggle. And they don't know success, and which means a mindset issue that's going to come up is showing them how to live a success life even when there are challenges. And so you want to make sure you're using success language and not struggle language. If you're using struggle bus language, you're going to attract struggle mindsets, which means in and of itself they're going to have a hard time committing to any type of investment with you. And so success language is like, what do you want to improve? What are you already doing that you want to have a 10x return on? What do you want to do that you want to accelerate the progress? For example, we have a lot of people who join Clients with Purpose who are already doing launches. And they're like, Shawn, I want to hit 6 figures with my launch. I've only ever hit 10 figures, or like 10,000 or 5,000 or 50,000, but I want to finally have a $100,000 week. People who are already in action, it's easier to get them to go faster when you tweak things. So you want to use success language, like what are you already doing that you want to improve or accelerate or make easier, etc. If you're working with people who are already in action, it's going to be a lot easier to work with them, and they're going to be so much more invested in making what they're already doing a success. So that's what I would encourage you to do. Find those people who are trying to make it work but are frustrated. We talk about this on day 2. By the way, the replays are going to come down on Friday, so you want to go watch those recaps. But on day 2, I talk about how there's like diehards, there's the satisfied, then there's the frustrated. The frustrated are already in action, but they're not getting the result. Right? It's easier to work with someone, specifically for us. If you're already an entrepreneur, you're already trying to make your business work, it's a whole lot easier for me to work with you than somebody who doesn't even want to start a business. Because then we have to convince people this is the right way. So if you're already in action, it's easier to allow them to make that commitment and that investment. So that's what I would say. Make sure you're communicating and you're using language that attracts people already in action. Let me know if that was helpful in the comments below. And if you're watching live, go ahead and let me know. Say hello. I'd love to say hi to you. And then as far as like the money holding them back, you want to make sure that you're communicating what that commitment looks like. And if they're hesitant, that's okay. Here's the reality, and this is another question that came up, which is how do I overcome the I can't afford it issue? Number 1, if they can afford it, awesome. If they can make room in their budget, awesome. Sometimes you have to help them navigate, what does this investment look like? What do you have to say no to in order to say yes to this? And you kind of have to navigate and coach them through that. But if they don't got the money right now and you have a deadline, then they don't got the money. They're a no. Here's where so many people get like this whole thing mistaken. They want everybody they talk to say yes. They want every single person they talk to say yes. And the reality is, no one on this planet gets everyone to say yes. It's not going to happen. There are some people you're going to talk to. Number 1, they're not going to be a great fit. Number 2, they're not ready for the commitment. I have people who took the challenge, for example, took the challenge last October. Now they're ready to commit. They're investing now. We have people who took the challenge this time. They're ready now. We have people who've taken the challenge for 2 years. They save up, and then they're like, okay, Shawn, I'm ready now. So some people, they're not going to be ready today, right now, and that's okay. Don't put all this pressure on yourself to try to get someone to say, every single person has to say yes. Every person I talk to has to say yes. If you hear a no, great. Move on to the next person. Applaud the person for having a conversation with you. Support them as best as you can. Serve them in the way that they can commit and invest. And then let them do the work. Here's another mistake that a lot of people make is you're creating people who are dependent on you. And you're not empowering people to experience and the action they need to take. Let me catch that. You're a leader. You're not a savior. Are you catching that? Let me know in the comments below. Do you get, if you are telling people, I will get you results, then you're making a promise and you're putting yourself in a role that is going to create so much anxiety, so much frustration, so much tension. You're a leader, so your job is to, instead of being a savior, is to show them how they can do it. This is something I tell my clients. I'm not going to care more about your business than you will. I won't. It's your business. 10 years from now, you're going to reap the benefits or you're going to feel the regret. I'm not, because it's not my business. It's your business. I will care as much as you care about your business. If you don't care, well, I'm not going to be the one to try and drag you along to do the work. Here's where a lot of other people get this, and I'm kind of going on a tangent, but I feel like some of you some people need to hear this. You have clients right now that are dependent on you showing up in order for them to succeed. But they have to do the work. And there's actually, here, I'm going to actually pull this up because it's so important. There's 4 stages that every entrepreneur experiences that you have to make sure you're informing your clients on. And here's those 4 steps. Let me pull it up real quick. The first is uninformed optimism. These are the people that say, I'm going to hit $1 million in 2 months. right? That's the stage you're at. You see the possibilities. You're stepping in the possibilities. You're believing for it. You're like, $1 million, 2 months, I can do it. And then the next stage, so stage 1 is uninformed optimism. You're optimistic, but you don't really have all the pieces together or the information required in order for you to make practical moves. But then you start making moves, and that's where stage 2 hits, and that's where reality hits. That's where like, oh, there's actual work involved? I have to get uncomfortable? I need to learn a new skill? I have to do something I've never done before? What? I can't do what I've been doing and get a different result? And that's where reality hits. But if you persevere, right, this is where you begin to realize, oh, it's not just sipping wine and sitting on the beach every day. I got to get to work. Then you're going to start to get to work. You're going to start to learn that new skill. You're going to start to acquire that new resource. You're going to start doing the work. That's when stage 3 hits. And that's where you have to endure, endure, endure. Okay, this is a stage where you realize if it were easy, everyone else would be doing it. If it were easy, everyone else would be doing it. That's the truth, right? If it were easy to build $1 million business, everyone would be millionaires. There are some things that are just uncomfortable to do. There are things I have to do with my team, with my staff as we're growing our company that are not like comfortable things. They have forced me. I fully believe entrepreneurship is the greatest source of personal development that you can go through because it requires you to consistently step in a new role, consistently acquire a new skill. Because what got you here today is not going to take you where you want to go. So if you endure, if you get the help you need, if you get the coach you need, if you get the mentor you need, you get the information you need, and you keep at it, that's when you get to stage 4, which is extraordinary breakthrough, and that's what sounds like, oh my gosh, I actually did that. I can't tell you. It took us, listen to me, listen. It took us 3 years of consistent, active work, of us hitting $0, $10,000, $20,000. It took us 3 years of us doing these launches, of putting out content, for us to hit our first $100,000 week. It takes time. Nobody, unless you're like born like Mozart, who can play keyboard in the womb, very, very, very unlikely are you going to be someone who is an overnight success. It took Oprah 30 years before everyone knew her name. It took Steve Jobs 42 years before everyone knew his name. You're putting so much pressure on yourself to be $1 million business today when you haven't even reached $10,000 a month or your first $10,000. Relieve yourself and give yourself permission to take shorter steps, to experience shorter results. Now, can you accelerate that growth? Of course. Can you go faster with help? Of course. That's why you hire a coach. That's why you hire a mentor. But give yourself grace for your pace. Give yourself grace and patience, and can we just spread some positivity and some love for ourselves? Can we just say, say your name out? Shawn, it's going to be okay. You're going to get there eventually. You're going to get there eventually. I kind of went on a tangent. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments below. Onyenyi says, yes, entrepreneurship is the greatest form of personal development. You speak my language. I knew there was a reason God brought me to this challenge. Thank you for this. I love it, Onyenyi. All right, I'm going to keep answering the next question because I'm just going. All right. So let's see. The next question I have is, should you put pricing on your website? That's a great question. You should talk about pricing on your website. For those of you who have booked your Heck Yes Success Call, you're going to see a lot of content that we put out that talk about why masterminds are priced the way they are, what the difference between a $100 coach is and a $10,000 coach and a $100,000 coach. What's the difference between a mastermind and a group coaching program? and the pricing differences. You want to talk about pricing, but you don't want to share pricing, at least not on your website, because they're not ready for it. So talk about pricing, share pricing at a different stage. We cover that in the program on the perfect places to put pricing. But I hope that answers your question of whether or not you should put pricing on your website. And then the last question that I'm seeing, oh wait, no, there's two more. And if you have questions, go to put hashtag question in the comments below. I'm going to be live for maybe another 5 minutes. So question number one is, do you still hop on calls with diehards, or do you qualify them first? So you always want to qualify people. You always want to make sure that they are filling out a booking link or some type of application. And in the program, we actually talk about like what questions to ask and at what point, and especially if they're a diehard, which questions you should be asking to nurture them to a place where they're ready to buy. But you should always qualify people because you don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste their time. So always qualify people. Great question. And then the last question is, Shawn, it seems you're so confident because you have results. What if you don't have any results? Guess what? There was a time I didn't have results. There was a time I was just getting started. Now I have incredible testimonials from Patrick landing a $200,000 client, Raymond landing a $90,000 client, Penny landing a $30,000 client, Patrice landing a $10,000 client. Consistently people saying, Shawn, I landed a $3,000, $4,000, $2,000 client. So now we have results. But here's the thing. So many people are waiting for confidence to start, when the reality is confidence is never a requirement. Confidence is never a requirement, and it's always a result. It's a result of you going out and you doing the work. Now, for some of you, I would definitely recommend, like, for example, if you're a copywriter and you don't have any examples of your work, then you can go two different routes. Number one, you can do the audit route, right, where you have a conversation with someone. The wow talk is where you audit their work and you prove you know what you're talking about through that wow talk. Or the other thing is, if you are a copywriter, for example, what you can do is you can write fake copy for a fake client, put it out there, right? You're not doing free work for someone, you're doing work for yourself. You're building these examples of maybe it's emails or sales pages or social posts so that you can then reference that. If you're a copywriter, for example, or you're a videographer or whatever, you have to be passionate about what you're doing. So do passionate work, then showcase that passionate work with those that are asking for it. So that's another way that you can kind of navigate through that I don't have results yet. And then another one is just be honest. Hey, I don't have any results. You'd be my first client, but I'd love to be able to work with you. And what's great about working with me, especially as somebody who's just getting started with my client work, I've been a professional copywriter for however long, whatever. I've been passionate about this forever. But as my first client, I'm going to give you custom work. Everyone else is going to give you cookie cutters. They're going to give you templates. You're going to be my only client, so I'm going to be focused on you. And I'm going to charge this much. And the only thing I ask on top of that is that you be willing to give me a testimonial as I build my business. So that's another route you can take. So Suzanne says, we are where we are because it's where we need to be right now. I love it, Suzanne. I love it. Okay, those are all the questions that came in. Wisdom, do you mind scrolling up through the comments just in case I missed any? I'd love to read. Keep going all the way to the top, and then we'll start going down. You can start from there. Okay, cool. Hey, Onyenyi. Oh, Tenio. Hey, so good to see you. I think we have a conversation soon. River says, congrats, Amanda. Keep going, keep going. Nashira says, welcome, Amanda. Nashira is one of our acceleration coaches. So excited. And then Amanda says, it's what you decide to do. I love it. Let's see. Guess I read that one. Riverside says, got it. Great question. Keep going, keep going. That makes sense. Victoria, so good to see ya. Scroll up just a little bit. Hey, that's definitely a hashtag gold nugget. I love it. Onyenyi says, so true. Great stuff of reaffirming everything I know. Thank you for this. So good. Nashira says, say that. Yeah. Onyenyi says, you're a leader, not a savior. All right. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. Okay, awesome. All right, well, that's all I have. If you have not yet scheduled your Heck Yes Success call, go ahead. Wisdom, if you can type in where it says write a comment, www.clientswithpurpose.com. And what you're going to do is you're going to be able to click on that link, and you're going to be able to schedule your call. During this call, we're going to figure out where you're currently at, where you want to go, and if Clients with Purpose is a good fit for you. If it's not, then we'll point you in the right direction. And so I'd love to hop on a call with you and discuss what your next big, bold step is for your business. Continue taking action. I'm ShawnQ, your high ticket sales coach, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.